government. Again, we saw a forgotten community that has been brought back to life with a very beautiful road. And when we were there, I brought out a woman from a rice farm who said she lost all her crop during the flood. And she said, look, before then they had to carry their load on their head to anywhere they wanted to go. But because of this governor, for the first time, they now have a road, and their farming there is going up because they have access to take their goods to the market. So access is important for transformation, and I want to thank him for that. The third road is the one we inspected this morning, which are different roads targeted at bringing communities and whole sections of the state into the modern economy. The road to Oko, the bridge that we saw today. Oko. Very good. Oko Bridge. Now, I know they have spoken about it, but I think it's very important to return to it. Now, if you see the challenge to build that road, you know that if you don't have a commitment, you will give up. But he did it. He did it, and today life is different there. People are happy. So we think that we should continue to look for people who will not just look at the immediate environment, but give a whole state the opportunity to grow along. Even development is what I have seen. So we have seen quite a number of other projects here in Anambra, which my colleagues have pointed out. But the one that interests me most is the education program in Anambra State. The education program in Anambra State. The education program in Anambra is based on the fact that government alone, who attempted it in the past during UPE, that will take over all schools. We took them over. But those schools today, if you look at them all over the country, you will be sorry. But today, in Anambra, the governor has decided to return all schools back to their own proprietors, especially missionary schools, and not only giving them back, but paying the salaries of the teachers and handing over management to their former owners. Because of that decision, already Anambra is in the front league of performances in WAEC and NECO. And it's also building structures in those schools, because we went to Christ the King College in Onitsha yesterday, and we saw new structures coming up. We saw a new environment, and we saw the Reverend Father, and he was speaking about the kind of changes that have come on board through new schools, new hostels, new classrooms that are being built, including laboratories. That is the kind of thing that is required, partnership. Now, that form of education is more sustainable. It is more sustainable. Government cannot look after its own schools and make them also models so that they will compete with those private schools, and then you will have what we used to have in the 60s. Here you can go through Nigerian secondary school and pass Oxford entrance exam. The same thing like anybody anywhere in the world. That is what we must return. And education is so crucial. We cannot joke with it. The problem of federal government today is that no matter what you do at the federal level, if states do not fix primary and secondary schools, you can't have any miracle in the university. The person who succeeded, who won will not succeed. We must temper this democracy with civility, and we must imbibe the democratic ethos that will make our country work. And I see them in your governor. And I think it's important we know this. Finally, we want to again say that in every story there are things we can learn. I want to say, my colleagues have pointed out the question of democratizing local governments. You know, because if we want democracy at the national level, at the state level, without democracy at the grassroots, you will not have a very good state. So local government elections, I believe, should be held. But over and above that, Your Excellency, we have seen state independent electoral commissions that return 100% for the ruling party. Almost every local government election in Nigeria, you go there, the ruling party has 100% at the state level. That is not correct. The local government must run, the state independent electoral commission must run at the same level with the federal INEC. They must be truly independent, and there must not be a place where governors impose their will. There must be a place where people go to vote for their people at the rural level. And it is better to have that kind of arrangement. It will lead to speedy development of our state. So as you prepare for a local government election, I will advise that the law is set for Anambra INEC should not repeat the mistake of the past. It should be truly democratic at that level so that people will have that expression and local government chairman will be accountable. That is what we want. It's very, very important for our state and for the rest of the country. Now, you must not relent on security. As we came in, we had the sad story of unknown corpses that were dumped in one of your places here. It tells you that the enemy is still lurking around. Even when it seems like you are defeating, you must stand strong. And I must say that I have seen what you are doing. I went to Innosom and I saw the cars you have ordered for rural security. I want to commend you for that, but we have to stand strong. But the government alone can't deliver on security. The communities are number one. Yesterday, when we went to Ayamalu, we saw an electricity project that the governor built, vandalized. Over 6-7 kilometers, the land you have vandalized. I was so upset. We are talking of infrastructure, but citizens are not respecting the infrastructure provided by government. Why on earth will somebody go to see electricity wire and pull it down just because you want to be selfish? You want to destroy your whole community? Now, these are the things that, in my opinion, democracy is about us too. It's not about just what governments are doing. That is a bad example. That's a very, very bad example. And also today, as we are going to see the one of the bridges that we saw, I don't know whether it is Ochia, what do you call the last bridge we saw, that erosion project? Uchiane. Good, Uchiane. When we went there, Muchiane. Thank you very much. At Muchiane. When we went to Muchiane, we saw a big bridge that has been built and an erosion program. Very good project. Almost cut off the community. But what did we see? We saw people dump all the refuse of their community on the bridge. Wow. Now, these are the problems that we are having in the country. You see people busting pipelines that pass through their communities. So how do you want to develop Nigeria? We can't develop Nigeria if you have saboteurs in our ranks that will undermine the effort of government at different levels. That is not correct. And this is for our own royal fathers, our local government chairmen, our community leaders. We must all play our role. My people say that if you come to the community, we know our thieves, we know our good people, we know our wizards. At the community, nobody is hidden. Therefore, community must be fully involved in crime management, in securing the projects of federal and state governments and local governments. That is the only way that this country will develop rapidly. So that attitude from citizens is lacking in many places in Nigeria. The attitude of citizens knowing that whatever government does is for the welfare of the people, and every Nigerian must change. If we don't change, then our country will continue to waste money on things that are unnecessary. Look at the huge money we're wasting on security. That money could have gone to education, could have gone to roads, could have gone to power supply. So I think that is something I want to challenge a number of people. That we must sit up and create awareness among our people so that government projects are not destroyed. So that government projects are not destroyed by criminals who come up to the small benefit, they destroy the life of communities. That was not a good example of Anambra people. We know you to be greater than that. Lastly, sir, the Innosom company we went. Mr. President has directed that anybody buying a vehicle, federal ministry or agency, they must first call Innosom and find out whether he has that one or not. Mr. President has given the directive and he passed it through the Federal Executive Council. If you want to buy, if you have any order to supply a bus or anything, please call Innosom vehicle manufacturing plant at Inewi. If they don't have it, you can go to other places. But if they have it, you must buy from them. And as I'm speaking to you, NTA under me has already given order for 30 buses from that place. I also know that the office of the head of service has also placed order for vehicles here from Innosom. I also know that the army has also ordered for vehicles here at Inewi. So Mr. President is saying, look, Nigerians, we can't transform if we are not ready to patronize our own.
Yes, sir.
We don't want to hear that Aba manufacturers, they will do something and go and put made in England just for it to be accepted by Nigerians. That psychology must die out. So Mr. President has given directive. We at the federal level, we will patronize Innoson. And we have come yesterday and we have seen and we are convinced that those vehicles are as good, if not better, than many ones that are coming from abroad. He has also empowered the Bank of Industry to support private factories. Yesterday when we went to Innoson, he said that for the Bank of Industry, he will not have set up this factory. So, and that is what Mr. President is doing, creating the enablement for private sector to grow. Innoson also said something. When he started, only 20% of power supply came from public power supply. He was using generators. Now public power supply is 80% of all the power he's using in his industry, which is the clearest example here that our power supply program is working throughout the country. So please, I call upon you, let us encourage things that are made in Nigeria. Eat Abakaliki rice, that's the one the president is having at the State House. Nobody goes to the president and eats Taiwan or Thailand rice. No, it is the one we grow in Nigeria. It is better rice than the one that is coming from abroad. So please, let us work hard and also patronize those who are investing for the development of Nigeria. If Innoson has just 30% of the car market in Nigeria, it will be the largest plant in Africa here at Nnewi. So for private people, please buy Innoson and buy made in Nigeria. That is very, very important for Igbo people, for the growth of our country. I thank you. God bless you all.
Of information. River traditional rulers. Let me stand on a already established protocol. Unfortunately, I don't think it's possible for a speaker to speak for 3 minutes. I've been speaker for 4 years, and by the time I just finish with the protocol, the 3 minutes will be gone. But in any case, let me start by thanking the Honorable Minister for leading this powerful team to Anambra. I'm happy the Minister has said it all. He has been to the state peacefully. He has seen the development on the ground. Development being enacted by both the federal and state government. I want to add one thing that is very clear that may surprise each and every one of you. Both the Honorable Minister, both His Excellency, both the River traditional rulers, and each and every one of you here, we belong to the same party. It may surprise you, but this is the truth of the matter. The party is Nigeria. And for those of us that are from Anambra, the party is Anambra. What is upmost is the welfare and well-being of our people. It's the development of our people, not political party. And as you can see, the governor has done very well. If there is constitutional provision for 10 tenure, we would have asked him to go for 10 tenure. But incidentally, unfortunately for my own party, PDP, there is no constitutional provision for second tenure. He has done very, very well. We commend him for what he has done. We expect that what he has done is a big challenge for whoever that will succeed him. The person has a big shoe, and we should pray hard that the tempo will be maintained. I want to thank His Excellency, the Governor of the state, for what he has done in Anambra, and to tell him that Anambrans are proud of him. We are all politicians. When it comes to election, we will take our different appearance. But election and politicking is different from governance. As far as governance is concerned, Mr. Peter Obi has done very well. So I want to thank our Anambrans for what we have done, for creating an enabling environment for the governor to perform. And I want to thank the governor for performing. I want to make a plea to the Minister of Information. I am sure by your involvement, knowing you very well, the toy is not made jamboree. I'm sure at the end of the day, you come up with the results. We do not expect anything less than the first position as a team. Thank you and God bless you.
This question is coming from one Mr. Christopher Ebele from Oji River, Anambra State. Sorry. from Oji River. Well, the question is coming from Christopher Ebele, Oji River. Governor, you were quoted to have said that you will build a shopping mall at the site of Old Ikenga Hotel, as well as a convention center at the Lake Hotel area. What has led to this decision? And will you complete this project before you leave office, considering the fact that you have just about 1 year to go? Another one is coming from Anake Martins, and he's in Lagos. He said, Your Excellency, you were removed from office twice. Will you have served the 2 terms of 8 years by the time you will be leaving office? And how have you been able to manage in spite of unstable tenure? And from John Nwosu from Oka, he said some tragic event occurred in Anambra State last week with the discovery of mystery corpses in Izu River, Amansi, in Oka North local government area of this state. What latest information as the Chief Security Officer of the state do you have on this incident? And what have you done as the Governor of Anambra State to ensure that water is supplied to the area to assist the community that the only source of their drinking water is now contaminated by decomposing corpses? From Michael Emeka Newi, he says, security is key to development, and your state, like others, have been facing challenges, especially in areas of armed robbery, kidnapping, Bakassi boys menace, etc., etc. How are you handling these criminal elements, and what have you done to ensure the security of lives and properties in your state? Another question from one Chinedu Onorum from Onitsha. He said your administration deployed bulldozers recently and demolished what you described as illegal structures, shanties and shops at the Onitsha bridgehead. Some people have said that the demolition is aimed at destroying their business and livelihood. So why did you take such a step when you claim that you want to reduce poverty in your state? And then from Barrister Kelechi from Newi, he said you have proscribed the National Youth Organization in your state. You are quoted to have cited the Anambra State Unlawful Society Declaration Order 2013 to support your action. You said the activities of the group is dangerous to the peace and good governance of Anambra State, and therefore declared them unlawful society. Governor Obi, are you not tampering on the rights of the people who are guaranteed freedom of association by Chapter 4, subsection 40 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by this prescription? And then to the Honorable Minister of Information. This one is coming from one Mr. Amanze Chuku from Onitsha. He said on October 3rd, 2012, the Federal Executive Council, FEC, presided over by President Goodluck Jonathan, approved the upward review of the contract for the Abandoned Zik Mausoleum, which is at Onosi, Onira, Onitsha country home of the late Zik, the Owele of Onitsha. This project was initiated as a mark of respect for the then departed Nigerian first president. But 3 months after the upward review of this contract, the place is still desolate and overgrown by weeds. Please, Minister, what is the problem? So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, these are the questions I have. I will now call Yahya Umar to please come forward and ask some of the remaining questions. Yahya Umar.
Thank you very much. Quickly now, from Chris in Oka, what is the situation regarding the gratuity and pension of workers of National Light newspaper and Anambra Broadcasting Service? This one is from the builder via SMS. Please, Your Excellency, I want to ask the question, why do we not have an airport in the state? He's also known as God is. This one is from the photographer, just the photographer via SMS. How many times has Anambra State negotiated for loans for loans at the bond market, and is the debt profile of the state and what is the situation of the debt profile of this in the state in view of the numerous projects you have executed in the state thus far? From Brother Namdi in Oka via SMS, Governor Obi should please tell us what he is doing about the State Water Corporation. The workers have been at loggerheads with the government for more than 6 years now, and nothing tangible is being done. What can the governor tell us? From Zakaria Onadabo of Radio Nigeria, Kaduna, Your Excellency Governor, insecurity is one of the challenges in Anambra. What are you doing extraordinarily about that? 2. Honorable Minister, how will you rate the level of private sector response to the completed Onitsha port? Quickly, from Obiora, this extra question, please, you need to take a look at this one, because we need to rehearse the question so that we don't stumble. From Obiora Nwakeze via Facebook, why did the governor leave all the flood-prone Nando roads inconstructible, something like, unconstructed? One more time. Obiora Nwakeze, why did the governor leave all the flood-prone Nando roads unconstructed? 2. Chris Naz, with all the respect to the moderators of the FRC and of the National Good Governance Talk and the governor of Anambra State, I would want to know the plans of the plans in regards to the roads that lead to Onkolago off the Ekulabia. Is that okay? Ekulobia. Okay, because he wrote E-K-W-O-L-O-B-I-A. Ekulobia. 2, thank God you know the place. We have another one here, Akpo Amesi Road. 3, Achine and Enugwo Onoyi. Enugwoya. Okay, Enugwoya Road. Thank you very much. And then Amos Yakubu Moda, why is the National Orientation Agency not part of the tour? This one is for the Honorable Minister of for information. Moving on, this time from Georgina Eze in Kuala Lumpur via Twitter. Georgina tweets, our people's governor, go ahead, lead the way. Being a governor has not changed you from being a tested and trusted servant leader. That's why you can go anywhere and mingle with particularly no security details. With practically no security details. God be your strength. Moving on, from Awalu Kakaki in Onitsha. I have been living in Onitsha and practicing my trade for the past 12 years. Tell us about the task component, that's the tax payment of tax. tax component in your revenue drive. 2, most of us from other parts of the country feel at home here. Thank you, sir. Let me quickly round up on this. From Theophilus Amadi in Ukraine via email. Governor Peter Obi Dalo, how about a football club for Anambra State? I am playing football for a club in Ukraine. If you can guarantee a football club for our state, people like me feasting on cheap snacks in Ukraine shall be on our way back. And from Donatus Ezonwana in South Korea via email. I am a hairstylist in this part of the world. Honorable Labaran and his team are doing a yeoman's job. Now the world would know our governor is less talk, more work. Oga, please tell our embassy to be assisting us with petty cash. Some of us are suffering though. Governor Rochas Okorocha of Imo State prosed. Well, I didn't rehearse that. I think you can take this one. This you rehearsed it, please. Thank you very much.
Of Imo State probed the former governor Ikedi Ohakim. Today he is talking about missing billions. Whenever Governor Obi speaks, you say that Anambra was a case of where lunatics have taken over Asylum. Sane people understood this to mean that your predecessors did badly. Is this the case of what APGA government has been doing, or how can you explain this? This one is coming from one Mr. Chinedu GK Radio Nigeria. Do you still have some questions? Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is now open. And we are going to take questions.
My name is Emmanuel C. Ojuku, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. My question is in 2 parts. One, to the Honorable Minister of Information, that if you look at this program, sir, we are stated as number 3 to be visited. And for 3 days, we have mobilized all the university community, all the professors, all the staff, all the students. 2 days ago, yesterday, and today. Today is Saturday, and we've all been waiting. We are sad that the only federal university in Anambra State was not visited. Why? Number 2, we in the university recognize that this tour is very important to all of us. And apart from the state government, we have the largest economy. After the state government, we have the largest economy in Anambra State. We think that the only way you will satisfy us is on your way to Enugu. Do not come down. Just drive in and go around and go. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My question is to the minister. So I'm glad that you visited the dry seaport at Onitsha. We went there sometime during the NUJ Press Week, and we were told that although the federal government has rehabilitated it with a large sum of money, yet it is not functional. I want to know what the federal government is doing to make that place functional. And also, sir, I want to know why is it that we local journalists are not included in the President Explains or the ex-president speaks. I don't see any local government invited to interview the president. We want to be included in that program too. Thank you.
I'm the Executive Director of Children of the Farmers Club, an NGO. Your Excellency, sir, my question is on the flood. Some time ago last year, we had a horrible flood, and a lot of communities and farm communities were displaced. And up to today, sir, yesterday we are happy some fertilizers arrived in the state for the farmers. But a lot needs to be done by the federal government, because state alone cannot actually deal with it. Honorable Minister, sir, know that about 60 communities in Anambra State were affected, and that these people lost every livelihood. Today, if we are not careful, children will be suffering kwashiorkor, because most parents cannot actually feed their children. They lost their crops, they lost their fruit crops, they lost their plantain, they lost just everything. Secondly, I also want the state government to look at climate change as a very serious thing. The other day I went to community and they asked, is the flood coming? Again, this is their anxiety. So the federal radio and the state radio with language, we must design climate change programs so that our people will know and be informed, and also look at the adaptations, because we have to learn how do we control these things and be part of the solution. Thank you very much.
No offense, nothing. Why has our attention not been drawn to that school? Thank you.
His Excellency, okay. My question is this. We appreciate all your efforts, but His Excellency Governor, my question is that people are retiring but no replacement. Please, what do you think about it? Thank you, and God bless you.
Government recognize the Nigerian Children's Parliament, because the Nigerian children and the Anambra State children have voice. They are represented to the Children's Parliament. We lack adequate recognition and empowerment. How has the federal government taken it as their duty to ensure that there is adequate empowerment and recognition of the Nigerian Children's Parliament, respectively, also in Anambra State? The Federal Ministry of Health, through its rollback malaria program, don't you think we should be able to eradicate? Don't you think we should be able to eradicate the disease-causing agents than sharing mosquito nets and also giving out insecticide? Why don't we think of in the environment, sanitizing the environment? Finally, Mr. Governor, please, some schools do not benefit or have not benefited from your buses, from your school bus scheme. What are the possibilities of these secondary schools to benefit from your kind gestures? Once again, thank you very much.
The activities of our able governor, Mr. Peter Obi, we as non-indigenous in this state, and even more especially, we are kind of Muslims, which is a different religion from what is obtainable in this place. We have been enjoying security. Even when there is crisis elsewhere, we are always secured. What we hear from our leaders is just be calm, remain in your houses, don't move around and go to places where you think trouble can be emanated or something like that. But my plea is just that, Your Excellency, sir, we want you to also help us in the area of employment, because most of us have been residing in this state for a very long time. But you find out that, I'm sorry to say, this is a forum for expression, right? And as a Nigerian who has been residing in this state for more than 15 years, please, we are just pleading.
Answer the questions put across to you. Thank you.
How my voice can manage, because Satan Igwe can't get recognized. Igwe, because I'll search for you to hear my voice. Because as doing that, the Honorable Minister, I wish we can have more time for this, but I assure you, Honorable Minister, what you're seeing here is what we do on a monthly basis. Just this week on a Monday, we had school children interactive section where we bring primary and secondary school people. And like I said, that was why I asked your people, allow them to talk freely. Because when you allow them to talk freely, they can do everything. For example, in our last meeting on Monday, an 11-year-old girl in JSS1 from Mary Upper Secondary School was bold enough to say to me, Governor, why do you make promises you don't keep? And told me what the promise is. And I made sure I fulfilled that promise before she left here. That is important. We listen to everything. I will start even from the last question. Employment of non-indigenous. Let me assure you, I was reading yesterday another state in the southeast saying they are going to sack non-indigenous. Anambra State, one, will never sack any Nigerian because of being a non-indigenous of Anambra State. Not as long as I'm a governor. Number two, even our people that are sacked from other places, we are working hard to ensure that those of them who have reached retirement have paid their benefits and see what we can do for those of them. Anambra is open when it comes to employment. We don't believe, I personally, we have helped industries to set up in Anambra State, including the one in Onitsha. And if you go there, they've employed Nigerians, they've employed about 500 people, out of which non-indigenous are up to 100, as long as they help us to build a better state. My son asked about issue of recognizing youth and young people in school. I assure you, my dear son, school, that's why I'm visiting your school. That's why every senior prefect of a secondary school has my phone number and they talk to me directly. Just on Thursday, by about 7 o'clock, my text came in and I told somebody I must read this text. He said, Peter, you just told me you have over 2,000 texts and you're not reading them. Why are you particular about reading this one? I said it's coming from a senior prefect. I must read it. And it was the senior prefect of our board girls. And he said to me, Governor, we don't have, our bowl is not working. Our water system has broken down. We are paying everything for that. I called her back. I said, on Friday, I'm going to send somebody. Give me 2 weeks. If you don't have water, then I'm not fit to be your governor. And we are already working on that water. That is, for us, it's important. So we listen to you. On what you asked about buses, let me assure you of one thing. Your state is a poor state. Today we are buying from Innocent alone, we've ordered 300 vehicles for security that are going to the communities. We have other vehicles, we ordered 200. I won't say who they belong to. Those vehicles are there. So it's 500 vehicles, over 1.7 billion. We have to buy vehicles for our directors in the civil service, which is about 120 something. We're buying vehicles for our magistrates, so we have 200 vehicles. And just yesterday, I told somebody, every single secondary school in Anambra State, and you can take it to the bank, must have a vehicle within the next 6 months. Unless it's not in this state, I will buy it, we'll buy for every single secondary school. We're actually trying to put computers down in all our primary schools, not secondary school any longer. And we have 1,200 primary schools, and we want to equip all of them with computers. We must catch them young. We are working with an institution, but we don't have money. So we're going to look for the money, but we'll find it. I assure you, we're going to do it. Secondary schools and everything. So we are looking for the kids. Basin Memorial Secondary School. I actually went there on a Christmas day. I was there on a Christmas day. We have school of deaf and dumb in Isulo. We have another one in Umuchu. I'm trying to combine the two schools. Because this one have only 13 people, the other one have 30-something people. And yes, the Basi Memorial School we use for something else. But I assure you, we will go there. Issue of flood, people who are suffering from flood. Let me assure the flood people again. We will work with you. Our team is very robust, very committed, and I assure you that we are going to help you. Most of the people who are now talking about flood are not actually those who are worse off. But we assure you, we are committed to it, madam. We will work with you. At the end of it all, people will know that your government is totally committed. Issue of climate change, we've now bought an equipment. Commission for Science and Technology is done here. Equipment that will tell us everything about weather. Your government has paid for it. It costs us millions of naira. But be rest assured, these are some of the intangible things we are doing. What you are seeing today is roads and everything. But there's much more we are doing that is not road issue. Somebody talks about Governor of Imo State accusing his predecessor of stealing billions and everything. This is not Imo State. I don't know what happened in Imo State or what is happening in Imo State. But let me assure you, for me as a human being, I believe that if God wanted us to look behind, He would have given us eyes behind. But He didn't give us eyes behind. And for me as a human being, those who think about yesterday and today will miss tomorrow. So I started my governance from where I met it. For example, I didn't inherit any debt, neither did I inherit any money. But I'm sure the person that will come after me, the story will be different. But that is looking forward, not looking backwards. And I don't think personally it's necessary to waste my time looking after what happened before I came into office. Whatever has happened, after this place was burned down before I came in, I've reviewed it now. Is it not good? If I was looking into who burnt it, and who did not burn it, maybe I would have finished repairing it now. So it is better for me to be looking forward. But the case of Imo State is not my own case. The footballer in Ukraine, we actually want to train people to export them to play football outside, not to bring them back. So that is not today. Let me tell you, the number three foreign state earner for Brazil is sports. Quote me anywhere, even Argentina. All this mess you hear playing in Barcelona are foreign state earners for their country. So we actually want to build more institutions that will train people for export. Because let me give you an example. What Messi earns every year is close to about 100 million pounds. If you have 4 of them, they're actually more than the budget of Anambra State. So why do you want them to come back? We want to export more. So if you're listening to me, be in Ukraine and find a way to do it better there. IGR component of our resources. The IGR component of our resources is very low. Anambra people don't pay tax, unfortunately. But I'm sure we are putting in place what will make them pay tax. People need to pay tax to support their government. People need to do a lot of things to support their government. Today in Nigeria, we are one of the least in terms of IGR. Notwithstanding all the markets in Onitsha, all the markets in Newi, everything. But I assure everybody, soon, everybody will pay tax or you can leave Anambra State. That one is sure. People talked about Ekulabia Mbologu Road. That road, I apologize to people in that houses. We had a bad contractor. We've since changed it. The road is going very well now. And I'm sure people can confirm. Those of you from that area can confirm it's going well now. It's going well, and I assure you we will continue. On water corporation, let me say it again with people in water corporation. Yes, I've had issue with them for 5 years. So is ABS, our television company. So is our printing company. What I tell people here, including me, there's no free lunch. If you're a corporation, you have to work as a corporation. I've told water corporation people, let them go and read the act establishing them. The act says they will sell water. So from the water they will sell, they will pay their salary. As I speak, they've never sold water to anybody for the past 10 years. And they want to be paid salary. No, let's fix it. And I'm saying, I'm a finance person. I will borrow money, I can get money from you anywhere you want in the world. But let's borrow money and give me your business plan so we can resuscitate the water schemes. You sell water and you make money. They don't want to do that. They want to stay for me to get money from where to pay them. My offer is still open. I am prepared to work with you. We will borrow money, we'll do everything possible, and you'll be rest assured that what is happening will be better. Same thing for ABS. ABS, I'm happy they're here. Our television company probably have more workers than AIT. All I'm saying is, where are you going to get the money to pay everybody? Let's go and market. Let's go and be more productive and everything. So it's our press company. I heard they're getting better now. For those who don't know, I used to pay 2.3 million naira of Anambra State money as subvention to our printing company, and every month they generate less than 200,000. Which type of business is that? Where you bring 200 and give you 2.something million. We might as well shut it down and do something else. So I'm saying it. If one of the things we are studying now, quite frankly, one of the things we are studying now is how we can absorb all the workers, most of the workers in our processors. If we can, we will absorb them. I will personally shut down all those processors. Government have no business in printing business. Let the printers print, let them write anything they want. We will buy it from them. But let's deal with the things we have to do. But we cannot be losing money and expect me to be giving you more money. No, it doesn't work like that. Not for the business that I know. Somebody asked about the debt profile of the state. Let me tell you one thing I know. Since I became the governor of this state, Anambra State have not borrowed one kobo from any bank. Our bank for about $75 million for our erosion. We're also seeking a $50 million loan for our education. So you have $125 million. I'm actually going to ask for more. That loan I expect to be about between 200 to 300 million. Every single kobo of it that will secure will not be touched by the life of this government. It will be there for whoever succeeds me, because it's my intention to put this state in a financial situation that they can run if God wishes is good and give us somebody better than me. That person will take this state to a new height. I'm not going to touch the money. He will touch the money, but not for me. I'm also not just trying to secure the loan. I'm planning how the loan can be paid without Anambra State putting one kobo in it. Because we are now doing investments that will allow us to generate income to deal with that. As at the time we started, We did not have 1 kobo in investment. As of December 31st, we have over 19 billion invested. And these things will generate money. For us, let's look forward. Where does our children be? If you look at the industries now, yesterday people can tell you, as I speak now, I have one huge industry going on in the Industrial Harbor. By Thursday, another company, we have 3 groups of South African people in the harbor now planning to set up their own industry. Because what we are doing is trying to rebuild the place completely. Why don't we have airport? We are not planning to build an airport. We don't have money to do it. We feel it's a waste of our resources and we don't need it. We have 2 airports sited within 45 minutes of our time, so we don't need to spend another 22 billion that will go into productive sector. Let me tell you, 22 billion, even if we'll keep it in the bank, will give us 1.something billion every year, which is enough to build. If you divide it, 100 blocks of classrooms for us. We don't need it for airport, because how many people use airport here to come and think of it? Let's forget about that one. I'm not trying to build an airport. No airport. Let me tell you, no airport in Nigeria is viable. No single airport in Nigeria, no single airport in Nigeria is viable or can pay itself back within 20 years. So if I put 22 billion to build an airport, it will take me about 200 years to collect my money. We bought 10% of South African brewery. 10% cost us about 1.5 billion. They already told they will return it back in 4 years. So why would I do something that will never pay itself back? I'm not in the business of wasting money. We will use the neighboring ones. They are very good. They are built by national and by rich states. I'm not saying it's not good, but you have to manage your income properly. Buying of youth organization. Buying of youth organization. We didn't buy youth organization. We didn't just buy youth organization. We are going to buy more. Let me tell you what is shocking me. Just 2 days ago, I had a security report. I'm sorry to say it because people are listening. Where 10 boys, none is above 15 years, called themselves a cult organization. And what are they doing? Raping young girls. None is above 15. I cannot have such. I want youth organizations. I want youth farmers club. I want youth mechanic club. I want youth skill club that will be beneficial. Let the youth go and work for innocent, not youth organization. If I see you forming an organization that is destructive here, I have banned about the youth. I have banned the opposing youth. I have banned, so you're not the first one I'm banning. Tell me what these organizations are doing. What are they doing? I was once a youth. I was productive. So in your productive age, you must be productive. You cannot go and form an organization to commit crime, to be talks to people. Half of them are talks to people and everything. That is why we are having the crisis we are having. You cannot have an organization of non-productive persons. We don't want it in Anambra State any longer. Are you scared you ever You scared you maybe see very. We want you to be youth. If you want to be youth, farmers club, come, we give you money to go and do farming. If you want to be organization of maybe barbers, skill, we come, all the association in Anambra State. I just name even Anambra State. Destruction of illegal businesses. We didn't destroy people's business, and we will never do it. We are business oriented. I will never be part of destroying people's business. God forbid. I will not do it. I assure you that what we are doing is that we want people, when you come into Anambra State, let it look like a state. Let it look like a state. It's important. And that's what we are doing by asking people, you can't sell goats as you come into our state. You can't say car. Go to Lagos, go to Kaduna, go to Minna, go to Abuja, go to everywhere. Everybody's trying. That's what we're doing. So please, do not think we're destroying your business. I apologize if you see it that way. We want to protect people's business, and I assure you of that. Issue of security, key to development. We are committed to security. Honorable Minister, I'm interested to know, when I came here, Anambra State did not have any relationship with Nigerian police, SS or army. As of today, I have bought for Nigerian police over 350 vehicles. This year, Anambra is the first state in the entire country that bought vehicles for police. We gave them 50 vehicles this year, Army 10, this January, Army 10, SSS 5, and I can go on and on. Security is that. I remember we are buying, you saw it yesterday, we are buying 300 vehicles for all the communities, which will launch and start distributing in a few days' time. On Ezu River, it remains a mystery. I was just telling you, it remains a mystery. I was in the UK getting ready for a meeting, and I actually gone to see the governor of Enugu State, Sullivan. We're having a meeting when I was called and said, there's some corpses flowing on the river between Enugu and Anambra State. I left from there straight to the airport. I started coming home, and when I arrived at Abuja, I moved from one side of the airport to the other side and drove straight from the airport in Port Harcourt straight to there to see what happened. I still say it's a mystery. The bodies were flowing from somewhere. The only reason why they stopped here in Amansi was because there was a tree that was stuck by the bridge, and they were all latched there. So it wasn't a case of they were from here. They are flowing from somewhere. We are still waiting for people to give us information of where they are coming from. Minister, I was the one who ordered. I was the one who paid for all those bodies to be removed. I supervised it. I was there and everything. Finished it. Took 3 for autopsy and buried the rest of them. I think the autopsy on the 3 might have been finished by now. And just yesterday, I still ordered for them to bring out everybody and do the same autopsy, because the 3 didn't give, maybe didn't reveal what. We're doing everything possible to know what went wrong and what happened. And this is, I'm supervising personally, I'm paying money. That's why I hear that some people went there to cry after I've removed the body. I said, everything is politics here. They didn't come when I was removing the body. They didn't come when I was suffering. Now that I've done everything, they go there to cry and said they're giving water. We are giving water. They are giving water to the people there. We are giving water to the people of Amansi and the surroundings and everything. All those who are using for politics should not play with human beings. It is not something to be played with. Remove trials from office, whether you have served your full term. I've always said it. I started being the governor of this state from 2008. 2006, I was not there. 2007, I was not there. Because of the both budget of 2006 and 2007 was not my budget. But in 2008, I presented the first budget, which took time for it to be approved. And from there, we have been going on. The first question which somebody asked is that you're building a convention, a hotel in Onitsha, building a shopping mall with some partners. You're going to do the same thing in the old Ikenga. You're going to do a hotel by Agu Lake. You're going to do you didn't include Nnewi, because don't forget I'm doing one Nnewi. Let me assure you, I'm actually going to do a new government house, a new governor's lodge, and judges' quarters. All these projects I've named now came to a total bill of about 15.6 billion. I have 10 in the bank. So I'm ready for it. I didn't say that. I have enough money in the bank. Even if I don't complete them, I have kept money that will do this job in the bank. It's intact. So even if I don't complete it, if my predecessor didn't complete it, it's his business. I'm not going to leave him. It's an ongoing business. What I can show anybody that I will pay the last certificate before I leave. From there, you can pay the one you inherited. I will not leave anybody with any debt. It is, but those projects will start. We are Onitsha Hotel. Onitsha Hotel has been roofed. It will be functional this year. The shopping mall in Onitsha, we are flagging off 1st of February. Then after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we'll do Oka, and we'll go on like that. But I'll show you of our commitment. We are not going to borrow money to do that. We are not borrowing any money to do it. The only thing that will sacrifice more. Honorable Minister, let me most sincerely thank the President of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan. You've said it all. Like I've always said, whenever I have opportunity of meeting him, I know how he feels at times. I know how pain anybody can feel. But I always say to people, if you bring a change, you must be in for trouble. Because there's some people who live up the old order. I wasn't impeached here because I was a bad man. No. I was impeached, like I told you. I was driving passengers that have since passed their destination, and they felt we cannot contain this man. For example, what was the first item of my impeachment? It was that office where you met me yesterday, Honorable Minister. That office in 2000, it was burnt by undesirable elements that controlled Anambra State. That's why I always say it was a case of where lunatics were in charge of the asylum. Not about the money they stole, but what they destroyed, including this place. That place, I was working from my house in Agolo. But in the budget of that year, they had to repair that office 298 million. It's an approved budget by the House of Assembly. I wasn't there. I repaired it with 43,200,000. They said I didn't do due process. I said good due process. I bought the materials myself. And you said the good process again if you want. That is the purpose of impeachment. Number 2 was the lodge. The lodge where you came. That place, they budgeted 486 million. I didn't do 22 million. They said I didn't do due process. I said, I thought due process is the same money. What is it again? Look at the body. So it is the same thing. When you want to change it, and I was watching here, I was impeached for saving the money. So that is the crisis you see today. If you go around, it's the same thing. I have a case where we have erosion in a particular school, KRC Onitsha. Our own ministry said they would do it with 50-something million. The Reverend Sister there said we will do it with 27. As a right check and give the Reverend Sister, they say it's not due process. They go to process. This woman said we do this at the price. Give her the money to do it. If you go and you see what the woman is doing to do. So it's a problem. If you bring a change, you have old order. All those who live off the old order. If you bring a new order. So I commend you. I commend Mr. President for this town hall meeting, for what you are doing. One day I will tell you the story of this great state. Because when you said sick and death and everything, I know your people are hurrying me to go. But let me tell you, Minister, in conclusion, this is the most important state in this country. Anybody can say anything. And I'll tell you, Minister, why we're the most important. The first president of this country, called President, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, came from here. The first vice president of this country, Alex Ekweme, when they choose to have vice, came from here. If you can go on the first Senate president, Nwafọ is from here. So you can see what we've done politically. If you go to issue of education, we produce the first vice president, vice chancellor of a university in Africa, Professor Kenneth Ike. Of course, you've seen what we are doing in other areas of education. You mentioned Chinua Achebe yourself. at least in terms of leadership, he has controlled it and everything, and it's from here. If you go in terms of military, the man you named, we produced the first commissioned officer of Nigerian Army and the first graduate officer of Nigerian Army. It was from here. If you go into sports, we earned the first gold, Commonwealth 1956 for this country. So if everything, if it's in terms of football, you see football now, this football they are playing now, we produce the first captain. Not for 10 years, first and longest. When they were playing without bonus, nobody paid us. The man was paying for himself. You can go on and on. If you go to the Catholic Church, we produce the highest person that was in Rome. Even the person who nearly became a pope was from here. Even that goes to challenge. The only church in Nigeria I want to produce is from here. My friends in Yoruba land, they are here. I always tell them, the first Igbo black man to build a house in Ikoyi, when everybody was living in Morocco, was from here. Everybody was still in Morocco then, serving white man. It was from here. Even stock exchange today that the Yorubas are enjoying, I can tell you, a man from here paid for the license, gave them the first road, the first house they used to, without paying rent. It's still around, so you can see how committed we are to Nigeria. Just to tell you, when the Queen visited here, Nigeria had no money for car. It was a man for here that borrowed his Rolls Royce for them to take the Queen around. So, Honorable Minister, this is our state. Thank you and God bless you.
But let me apologize to the great Zik University that we were not able to go there. This program could have held later. But indeed, I'm very late now. I'm supposed to be in Abuja already. So I was asked to go back because of exigencies of governance. And indeed, I'm staying here now beyond the time I'm supposed to be here. So that was why we had to call the program for Zik University. I truly apologize to the staff and students of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University. It was not deliberate, but because we had to cut off the program so that I can return back to Abuja to face some very, very serious matters of state. I am truly very sorry. You know, I like the university system because particularly in students, I've always been their leader for a long time, and I like going to see how they are doing. So my apologies to them. But we have seen your projects and we have also announced them on this program. Now, the question about Zik Mausoleum in Onitsha. Let me say that the information I have is that that contract was revoked because the port contractor was not performing. So the federal government revoked the port contract and awarded it to a new contractor. That contractor acquired the site on the 13th of this month. So the protocol of getting the old contractor to go is a process. So we had just managed to kick out the contractor that didn't perform, and the new contractor has just gotten the site. So I'm sure in the next 1-2 months you will see work going on at that site, and the determination of the federal government to complete it. The port at Onitsha, someone asked activities haven't taken place. I want to call Engineer Dike. Are you here? Dike, the General Manager, Engineering Services, Niwa. He was in the hall. Are you still here? Where is he? Please come up quickly. I would like him to explain where we are on getting Onitsha Port very functional. Quickly.
Your Excellency, let me stand on existing protocol, sir. The Onitsha River Port, we were there yesterday, and if you recall, Mr. President commissioned that port in September 2012. So that port is ready. What is holding it now is that the government, in its own wisdom, said this port cannot be managed by a government agency, that they want the private concern to show some interest and then take it over and manage it on behalf of the government. So the stage we are now, the ICRC, that is the Infrastructure Concerning Agency, ICRC. They are now studying the project. The World Bank sponsored a business study, which we completed last year. And that report, we have gone through it and found it satisfactory. So that report has been approved. So dredging of the River Niger. The capital dredging has been completed. First year maintenance dredging completed. Second year maintenance dredging is on. So with this dredging, that port will be ready to receive all kinds of vessels. And all the vessels that will come there, we have all the facilities, all the port equipment, cargo handling equipment, the state-of-the-art ones are there. We have the cranes, we have the forklifts, we have the low-bed trailers at that port. So that port is ready. So we invite any other stakeholder that has interest to come forward. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Then His Royal Highness Igwe PN Iziamama had asked a question concerning a federal government college that is located in his area. Well, I'll find out. I'll be very surprised because I know that last year, in the last 2 years, we had invested in resuscitating structures in federal colleges, in federal government colleges. If NISA is not included, I'll be surprised. If it's a new school which has just been established, I'll find out. But I'll take this report to the Federal Ministry of Education, and then I'll get back to you. You'll get also your telephone number. We'll get back to you to find out exactly what is happening there. The purpose of this good governance store is to get people. We give jobs and people don't perform, and we wouldn't know if citizens don't take interest. So thank you for this information. I will investigate it, and the good governance store will get back to you. Definitely action will be taken. The young man talked about Children's Parliament, how we can get the branch here in Anambra State to be recognized. Well, it has a national structure, and at the national level they work under the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. And the Parliament has been holding, we invite them to debate on national issues, to also seek children's views about their rights, about the future of the country, and what they think we adults should do. It's been a very great experience working with the Children's Parliament personally, and I know that the President and all of us show a lot of interest in the Children's Parliament. So we will get back your questions to the Federal Minister of Women Affairs and see what they can do. But I know that they went around to establish state branches. That time I was in Nasarawa State as Deputy Governor. So I know that the Children's Parliament is established in all the states. But I will follow up and see how they are relating to the branch here in Anambra State. We will need you. You are very articulate in asking your questions. It shows that children are coming, and that is not my opinion. Children are coming. Our children are coming is actually a book by our royal father, Chukwemeka Eke, who is sitting here in the audience. I've been trying to recognize him. Suddenly he's out of the hall. So we will definitely accommodate you and see what we can do to help out. Now, before I go back, I conclude this session, I want to acknowledge the participation here in the Citizens Forum by the citizens of Anambra State. The questions asked from here and abroad, it shows that you are really interested in the development of your state. And I also want to commend the governor for taking time to answer all the questions and also explaining further programs that he has. I know that even if we stay here for 1 week, there will still be issues and places to visit. But this program is designed to be about 2.5 days because we have to cover the entire country. Even federal projects, for example, we're building a big federal secretariat here. Since Anambra was established, the federal government hasn't had a federal secretariat. Now the president is building a federal secretariat here in Anambra opposite your own new state secretariat. The contract has been awarded, work has started, and we inspected it on this visit. And I want to thank the governor for locating the federal secretariat just opposite the state secretariat. Their gates will face each other so that there will be synergy between federal and state agencies for rapid development of Anambra State. I must say that I am highly encouraged by some statements that the governor has made, particularly that he has not taken a loan for the future people of this state. He has not gone to the bond market. He has not gone to borrow money. This is very, very important because the domestic debt we are having in this country today comes from all levels of government. People have been borrowing and encumbering their states, and some of the borrowing hardly ever goes to projects that can pay back. And that has become a big problem for the country. And I wish that every state will be listening to this. The purpose of this governance forum is that people will be listening in other states. And I want to commend you that all the achievements you have made, if you made them without borrowing, then indeed it shows greater commitment for the development of your state. I must also add that, you know, airports, you know, everybody wants an airport. Airports must be viable. The fact of just having an airport for the sake of having an airport and going to borrow money to build it, it does not add to development. The Asaba Airport, through which I came to Oka, is about 30 minutes class secondary education, and it will pay the state far more than just having an airport, especially when you have two alternatives close by and people can reach within a reasonable period of time. That is leadership. Now, let me conclude by saying we have come, we have had a great encounter with the government and people of Anambra State, and we have come to discuss development. We have come to discuss the fact that it is not just about parties, it's not about election, it's about working to improve the welfare of the people. Now, I know that Mr. President is fond of Anambra, not just because of anything, not just because he's named after Zeke, but because this state has given him almost 100% in his election. And we are very, very happy with the continual relationship between the government and people of Anambra State and Mr. President. And I want to assure you that the President, like your governor, is determined to change the way this country is running now. It's determined to change it, and we must make that change possible. We can't run Nigeria the same way we used to do in the past. It is not possible. So the program for transformation is the program that is leading to the changes we are seeing in the power sector, changes in agriculture, changes in cement production, changes that will definitely build Nigeria on a new path to national transformation. I must mention also, Your Excellency, for the youth, that from this year, the federal government is going to employ 10,000 youths per state under our SHOPI program. 10,000 youths. So you have 10,000 new jobs coming to you by Mr. President this year. Next year, another 10,000. Following year, another 10,000. So about 30,000 youths in this state can be sure of new jobs that are coming because of the SHOW program. And this is not about anything, it's about helping the youth to be empowered and giving you the opportunity to contribute to the development of the state. The SHOW people, the You Win program is already on, and the people who won, they have gotten their monies, they are establishing their businesses right now to employ other youths. What I want to call on the youth of Anambra, please, let Anambra be the state with the history that has been given to us. And it can only be so if the youth avoid crimes, stop sabotaging government infrastructure, learn hard in school, especially the new schools, so that when we hear something about Anambra, we want to hear about performance in schools, about excellence in sports, about the new inventions and new industries to create things for Nigeria and Africa. We want to see that this state marches on, so that most of the things we're importing from abroad, we will prefer to buy them from here in Anambra State. That is what we want for you people, and it is for us. Anything good in Anambra is good for Nigeria. Your progress is the progress of the people of Nigeria. So we are very, very happy. And I would like to again conclude by acknowledging, like I was saying before, Professor Chukwuemeka Ike, now a renowned traditional ruler. And one of the stories of Anambra a good novelist and writer. We read his novel, Toast for Supper, in secondary school, and of course, Our Children Are Coming is another great book which I believe that you should read. I want to thank you, sir, for all the services and other writers here, for what you have done for education in the country. Thank you very much. We will return to Anambra, and by that time, I believe more would have happened. The governor is doing well, the president is doing well for Nigeria and for Anambra State. Let democracy win. That is what we want. That will be the path for the development of a new Nigeria. Thank you for your attention. God bless us all.